At 4 years old, Bahara walks with a limp. She can hardly move her left arm, and she'll never be able to grasp with her left hand. But it could have been so much worse.
صبح که شد دادر گولی را گفتم با برشارکار اوجا که برد دادر گول در شفاخانه دیدم که می دست پای از این فلج شد.
The diagnosis was polio, a highly infectious virus that attacks mostly children. Had Bahara's mother taken her to the doctor any later, she could have lost the use of her arms and legs permanently. She could even have died. Her father suspects the source of Bahara's infection came from across the border. Most children who contract polio have symptoms similar to a common flu. But in extreme cases, the virus attacks the spinal cord, brain, or both, leaving them paralyzed, sometimes for decades or even the rest of their lives. While a simple vaccine has eradicated polio in most of the world, the virus still runs rampant in Pakistan and Afghanistan. In Afghanistan, the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, is making progress in fighting the virus. But with thousands of people traveling between the two countries every day through one of the world's busiest borders, some are unknowingly carrying polio and spreading it. That complicates the task of UNICEF workers like Shetty Joshi. He helped his native India win the battle against polio and hopes to do the same in Afghanistan.
It used to be around everyone in India. I mean, there was a time when you could easily see polio cases around you. It's only when you get involved in a program that you realize how it can affect somebody so much and the quality of life.
But in Afghanistan, the task is enormous, and the work begins at the border. This is perhaps the most important battleground in Afghanistan's fight against polio. Right behind me is Pakistan's province of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. So vaccinating children at the border is the best way to prevent the virus from spreading from one country to the next. Every day, as soon as a crossing opens, an army of UNICEF polio workers vaccinate as many children as they can.
If they have any children under the age of 5, they would bring them into the shed, into the shelter. We have the vaccination teams here who would be giving them polio vaccine. So all children under the age of 5 are the ones who will receive 2 drops of polio vaccine. So this is oral polio vaccine. These 2 children are under the age of 5. She is not. So they are given, and then on their finger they mark the child, so that to indicate that the child has been vaccinated. So just in case if they meet the other team on the main road or any other teams, they would know, they can show the sign and tell them that my child is already vaccinated just now and it does not need to be vaccinated again.
These are potentially life-saving seconds for children from both sides of the border. The process couldn't be any simpler, but still, UNICEF is fighting an uphill battle because many children in Pakistan are falling through the cracks. There, religious extremists are holding up the campaign for political gains. And many Pakistanis are wary of campaigners after a doctor set up a fake vaccination program to help the CIA track down Osama bin Laden in 2011. But Afghans rarely refuse to vaccinate their children. That's because UNICEF has won the support of the mullahs, or religious elders. It's proven to be the secret to their success.
Religious leaders are the most respected and most credible sources of information for people anywhere in the world. People do look up to religious leaders and for advice, for information.
Every few months, UNICEF, together with the World Health Organization, invites Afghan mullahs to attend seminars to remind them why polio vaccines matter.
اگر اونا طفلشان واکسین نمیتن که در عقب دروازهشان واکسین میآید در آینده به فرج مصاب میشه اینا در برابر خدا و در برابر وجدان خود جوابگوی هستن و نیستن ما شما علمای کرام میخوایم که اینا برایشان تشریح و توضیح کنیم
The appeal works. Imam Abdul Samad has been involved in Afghanistan's polio eradication campaign for the last 20 years. He says even the Taliban support the effort.
علمای ما در بین مردم افغانستان که 100% مسلمان هستند رول بسیار مهم و ارزنده را در امور اسلامی و اجتماعی که امور صحی یکی از مهمترین این امر محسوب میشه دارند. مردم ما از زبان علمایشان هر سخنی را که میشنوند او را قبول میکنن و مورد قبول از اونهاست. تا بال ما با کدام عکس العمل نه ما و نه علمای ما مواجه نشده.
UNICEF and the WHO offer the mullahs a stipend for their time, a small investment that has yielded high returns.
During the training, we are instructing the vaccination volunteer team. If you face with any problem with the family, you can go to mullah, ask him to support you. And mullah will solve your problem.
We involve them systematically over a period of time, inform them about the polio disease, give them all the basic information that they need to address any concerns that the community may have.
Imam Samad invited us to Friday prayer to show us how he's getting the message across.
وزارت صحت آمد مؤسسه یونیسف اونا تطبیق واکسین را یک دوره دیگه هم در افغانستان از روز یکشنبه شروع میکنن. ما از شما خواهش میکنیم که اطفال خود را در این واکسین از سن طفولیت تا 5 سالگی هر طفلی که باشه مریض باشه مهمان باشه خواب باشه در هر حالتی که باشه شما با واکسین بیارین و یک قطره واکسین بگیرین از فلج شدن طفلتان جلوگیری بکنید.
It is the Imam's blessing that allows UNICEF workers like Parisa and Azita to do their jobs without fear of coming under attack. Volunteers around the country vaccinate over 8 million children twice a year. On this one morning alone, these girls have given polio drops to 45 children.
در سر خانهشان تک تک میزنیم باز او اطفالش اگه در خانه بود تو آرام میاره اگه در بیرون هم بود تو هم باز در پیش خانهشان میارن که واکسین کنیم باز میفهمیم که یزی خانه است باز از خاطر که تباشی در خانهشان اشتم میکنیم.
Although it was too late for victims like Bahara, the efforts of UNICEF and the mullahs could save millions of children's lives. Still, Joshi says, the battle is far from over. You're almost there, aren't you?
Not really. Polio is not the game of 99%. It's either 100%, either we eradicate it or we have not eradicated. So as long as we have one polio case anywhere in the world, nobody is safe. We have seen so many instances in the past when virus just travels. I mean, virus has traveled from India to Africa, from Africa all the way up to Indonesia.
For Simon Asia, this is Maeva Bambuck, Afghanistan.
Any part, if it gets cut, keep it preserved.